I would definitely put a AI high on the list just because in 1999 an 11-year-old boy whispered, "I see dead people," and became Hollywood's golden child. He earned an Oscar nomination, made millions, and directors called him a genius. But in 2025, that same boy was arrested at a ski resort, screaming slurs with cocaine in his pocket. His house burned down. His insurance denied him. Now he's living with his sister, facing jail time and apologizing for words he claims he doesn't remember, saying, "This is what really happened to Haley Joel Osment." On April 10, 1988, in Los Angeles, Haley Joel Osment was born into a family that seemed destined for Hollywood. His dad Eugene was a theater actor. His mom Teresa was a teacher. One brought creativity. The other brought structure. It was the perfect recipe for raising a child who would soon be speaking like an adult and acting circles around his peers. They had Irish, German, and English-Scottish roots. But the real shift happened when they left Birmingham, Alabama for Los Angeles. That move wasn't just geographical. It was generational. The Osmonds weren't just in Hollywood. They were built for it. And even before Haley could form sentences, the air around him buzzed with the energy of scripts, auditions, and something bigger pulling him toward the spotlight. And then came IKEA. He was 4 years old, just a kid, tagging along on a normal shopping trip. But that day, in that store, something crazy happened. A talent scout spotted him. No headshot, no agents, just a moment. A few weeks later, Haley was at a Pizza Hut commercial audition. They asked him to describe the biggest thing he'd ever seen. Most kids might say a truck or a dinosaur. Haley, he gave a full detailed speech about an IMAX screen. He was hired on the spot. That one commercial set off a chain reaction. That same year, he got a part in the sitcom Thunder Alley. Then at 6 years old, he landed a small role in Forrest Gump, a role that would introduce him to the world. Before he even lost his baby teeth, he had awards, a multi-million-dollar career, and a place in Hollywood history. But the genius of Haley Joel Osment didn't come from nowhere. His father had a rule: no baby talk ever. From the time Haley could understand words, he was spoken to like an adult. No shortcuts, no simplification. That strange little parenting choice made all the difference. By the time he was auditioning, he could express himself like someone twice his age. He didn't just memorize lines. He understood them. Directors noticed, casting agents noticed, and audiences couldn't believe how a child could handle scenes that would rattle most adults. That so-called Southern upbringing wasn't what it looked like on the surface. It wasn't about charm or manners. It was a strategy, an experiment that worked. In 1992, Haley's younger sister, Emily, was born. For years younger, but she wouldn't stay in his shadow for long. Like her brother, she was raised in a house where acting wasn't just a hobby. It was the family business. She eventually became a star in her own right, especially with her breakout role on Hannah Montana. The Osment siblings were close, but their lives were unusual. Fame, auditions, criticism, and all of it before they were even teenagers. Their father was there through it all, going over scripts with them, managing their careers, and keeping them focused. It wasn't always easy. Haley had to deal with the pressure of being a prodigy. Emily had to carve her own identity. But through all the chaos, they had each other. Haley's big breakout moment came in Forrest Gump. He was just 5 years old when he played Forrest Jr., the son of Tom Hanks's character. The scene that introduced him written just before filming. Hanks jotted it down on a yellow notepad, and that exact piece of paper is still in Haley's possession today. The emotional weight of that role was intense. His mother in the film had just died of AIDS, and Haley had to express grief, love, and hope all in just a few minutes. It wasn't just impressive, it was shocking. He won a Young Artist Award for that role. And with it, he made it clear he wasn't here to be cute, he was here to act. After Forrest Gump, he didn't disappear, he doubled down. He starred in Thunder Alley, bringing humor and heart to a sitcom. Then came the Jeff Foxworthy show where he played the son of a working-class comedian. And in the final season of Murphy Brown, he replaced another child actor as Avery Brown. These weren't just random roles, they were strategic. Osment was building a portfolio. Before he turned 10, he had become one of the most recognized child faces on American television. He wasn't being cast as background filler. He was being trusted to carry scenes, to hold his own next to stars like Candace Bergen and Jeff Foxworthy. And every time he delivered. But as his career soared, something strange began to happen. A pattern. Hollywood couldn't stop casting Haley as children in pain, dying, grieving, or dealing with impossible trauma. On Walker, Texas Ranger, he played a kid dying of AIDS. On Alim Seal, he was a leukemia patient, trying to sue God. Yes, you read that. Right. It became clear that directors saw something in him that they couldn't find anywhere else. He wasn't just cute. He could break your heart. And they used it again and again. It was both a compliment and a concern. He had talent beyond his years, but he was also carrying emotional burdens no child should be expected to portray so often. That pressure came into full view in 1996 with Bogus. It wasn't a blockbuster, but it was a test. Could Haley handle deep emotion next to actors like Whoopi Goldberg and Gerard Deard? Could he carry scenes that mixed fantasy with grief and trauma? The answer was yes. At just 8 years old, he was holding his own in emotional showdowns with Oscar-winning co-stars. When Might Shyamalan started casting for The Sixth Sense, he knew the entire film rested on one thing: finding the right child to play Cole. He wasn't looking for a kid who could just say the lines. He needed someone who could look like they truly saw ghosts, not just frightened, but shattered. Then Haley Joel Osment walked in. His audition didn't feel like acting. It felt like truth.